Hi, I'm Michael Wijesuriya, I think better known in the fashion industry, but as a passion and a love for cars, I've taken up the motorsports, motor racing, and today I'm being featured this episode of Car and Me. The passion for motor racing began, I think, at a very young age because my dad and dad's brother raced in Katagurunda in 1958, 1959, and from an age that I could remember, I think we followed stuff that they did, saw photographs of things they did, and it was all car related and sports related at that time. And so with age, and from the age about, I think I must have started driving at the age of about 9 or 10 at home. And from the age of about 16, 17, it was like, Dad, when can we race, when can we race? And so I think with that backing of my dad being a racing driver, I was able to, pursue the love and the passion I had for it. From that point, my first event was Katagurunda, and my brother had raced twice before, and that year my dad bought me a new Nissan, and he said just go for it. And so that was the first outing I had, and then it was, at that point motor racing was at a different level where, we didn't have roller cages, not much stuff to really, because I think cars were also not so advanced as things are now. So it was a difference period at that time. So it was basically my jeans and my t-shirt and seat belts, crash helmet, and then we just ran the event. So since that time and now, it's a big change in the motor racing field. It was then 15 years ago, then I took the plunge of, wanting to race, and I thought, I'll just do my own thing and purchased my first car. Nobody backed me on the thing, got it done, got it prepared, ran the first race. My parents were not aware of it, and I was at a race where I was able to bag third place on the final podium, and I guess that led me to wanting to do bigger and better things, and so I moved forward with racing at that time. First race was a lot of pressure because I think for me to come forward as a racing driver, being in the fashion industry also at that time for about 12 to 14 years, a lot of pressure because everybody thought that, what's this guy doing on a racetrack, and it's two completely different fields, from very passive type of thing to a very active type of sport. But it was good. I'm on top of the world, now I'm living, and the good just gets better, keeps on giving. I never expected to be third on the podium, but I think being third, it was a whole new opening for me to wanting to get into motor racing. And then from that point, I think just the fact that I was in the fashion industry and people knew me in society, all the bigger names in racing, like from the car tuning people to racing drivers, we mingled, and then I was able to go to people and get cars properly prepared, and then run. Racing was at a different level at that point. I have participated in a few drags, which really not up my street. I love competition, and I've done tarmac, a lot of tarmac, and gravel also. There was a point about 6 years ago that I actually ran 3 cars, and so at that age it was a bit stressful for me and tiresome. But I ran 3 events, and one of the events actually, one of the car events had 2 events in one race. So it was actually 4 events that I ran. Modified 1050 event, SLS 1500 modified event, and the SLH 1600 event, 3 cars. And but I enjoyed it, and I've always had the luck of being on the podium, and it's been good. But what happened there is, like as I said, preparation and getting cars really done up properly, and proper mindset I think is what really made it for me. And I have an amazing backup team now with me. One of my boys, Samira, has been with me for 15 years. I think from the first race he has been with me. So that support has been there. And I have another boy, Saranga, who helped me to, the nitty-gritties of racing are all taken care of, apart from the tuning and the preparations that are done for the car. Speaking of racing, the tracks also that we have been running, we've run on Panala and Katakurunda for tarmac. And I love Panala because it's very technical, and it's amazing to run because you actually run not just with power, but you've got to use your mind and drive very technically there. Katakurunda is of course 2 long stretches and 2-3 corners, and it's all about power there. But it's your mindset, and it's, as I think it's, racing is not all about winning, but it's completing a race and doing a really good run and proving that you're a driver of some kind. And then from that point I do gravel also, and I love some of the tracks are amazing, but we have issues with dust and little other issues that we come across, but it's been good. I really enjoy Fox Hill. I've had a few victories there. I love the Kudaiva track, it's really amazing. Sigiri is nice. Sigiri is tarmac and gravel both in one. And I've had quite a few podiums in all the gravel tracks also. And it's 2 different styles of racing, 2 different styles of driving. And so I think once you get on the track, I think with experience also we realize how we should drive and what points we should push our vehicles to do such. From the beginning when we started, it was all about family, and finances were purely mine, and family assisted in little ways, and that's how I got going. And then once I got more into it, I ran 1, 2 or 3 Nissan Marches first. Then from that I went upgraded into the SLA 1015, which is a modified event, also in a Nissan March. Then that car upgraded to SL 1350, which is also a modified event. Then I upgraded to 1500, which was one of the Hondas. That was also a modified event. And then 1600. And simultaneously I ran the 1500 specials and the 1600, plus the 1050 modified, which was not an easy thing. It was actually not easy on the pocket either. But thanks to amazing sponsors and who has spearheaded it for us, it has been Mr. Murad Ismail with Helibis Racing, and I've been racing with them I think for the last 4 years, and they provide us with everything they possibly could to give us, to upstage actually everything that we do in motor racing, from the cars to the tires and the infrastructure, even getting stuff done, race weekends, hotel expenses, all that, car carriers, all that is taken care of by Helibis. And other it's and the expense of racing is not minor thing, it's wow. I think inspiration has been my father and my dad's brother. I think at a very young age, I think watching them, just seeing pictures and all, and then at an age that we really understood also my dad actually raced. So I think that was the inspiration to come into motor racing. I ran when I was 18 years of age, and then I went overseas to further my studies. And then I came back and I just felt a need to get back into motor racing. Now it's been 15 years and then I'm enjoying it. Being a fashion designer, I think it's a very passive type of job that I am in, and it's very calm, collect, and a lot of time for myself, for my designing side and all. But when it's race weekends and like 2-3 days before races, I was helter-skelter, getting cars prepared, trying to test drive cars, tuning cars, doing all that. So it's two different lifestyles, I guess. Definitely my passion, profession, I'm a fashion designer. And so this is something I love to do, and I spend a lot of time with it. I think this is the only sport I do apart from swimming, so I enjoy it very much. Yes, for sure, because I think at the age of about 9, I, on my own, tried to drive, learn to drive actually. And at that point, we had no social media, nothing where we wouldn't see anything and such, but just listening to talks and then seeing my cousins race, my dad race and all that, I think at a very young age, I thought someday I should get into this sport. Difficult. Because my career is fashion oriented and I do weddings and bridal dressing and all that, so everything is pre-done, like everything, even our orders are taken early and we have dates, we have bookings and all. So my priority is my profession. But there are days that I have had to go, not run practice day, write in a letter to the club and excuse myself, but I go and run race day, and sometimes I run at the back of the grid, which sometimes the 8th or the 9th car, but still I make the point to run the event. Apart from practice, I think being a race driver is a lot of, I think it's got to be in your blood and you've got to have a passion for it. But apart from that, I think the mindset also is, I think, one of the most important things, because most people get into motor racing thinking that just a fast car makes it, all right for you, but that's not what it is all about. It's a sport and there's always one winner. There's only room for 3 or 5 on a podium, but still, everybody who participates, I think, is a winner. And it is all about getting your mindset right, that it's not to get there podium, but how you get there. I think it's intuition. As I said earlier, I do believe a lot in my maker, and it's amazing, but there are times that, not there are times, I think at every race where I race, when I'm approaching a corner, when at the point I need to first put my foot on the brake pad, I speak, I pray while driving, and something gives me that energy to say, okay, right, it's point now that you start hitting the brakes, or you're going a bit too fast and you'll never approach that corner right, or something like that. So it's very hard for me to actually comment on that, because it's something that comes from within, and that's what makes me make a quick decision. Yeah, racing came to like a standstill after the issues we had in the country in April, and there wasn't much happening. So I think all drivers and riders, put their cars away, and but starting from August, I think all the races are back on schedule. There are months with like 3-4 races also, like every weekend, and I think running 3-4 races a month, like every weekend, is not possible. But let's see how it goes, and not running the next 2, but be back on track after that. Looking forward to Katagurunda, the 2 sessions at Katagurunda, and getting the cars all prepared again and getting stuff done on the cars. Sponsors helping out, technicians, tuners, all that, doing all the stuff. So it's something you got to look forward to, and then we have a break from about December till about Feb. So let's see how it goes. I'm starting off 15 years ago with a Nissan March 4-door at the time, because I was not very sure of what type of car to buy and all that. Now to the Honda 1600 event, and I've run the Nissan March, SLA 1050, SLA 1350, SLS 1500 and 1600. And next jump is the drastic one, supercar. And we'll see. I've been looking forward to doing something like that, but it all depends on how things go in the next year, and then we'll see if it's possible. I'd like to run the supercar event before my retirement. Okay, team support, amazing. I run for Helibees, spearheaded by Murad Ismail, and we've got, I think, about 6 drivers and about 20 riders with the team. And apart from the team itself, I would call it my personal team. That's my tuner, Najula Jinasena. With that, the 2 boys who handle most of the car work. Samir has been with me for 15 years and does all the, the things that generally even your tuner wouldn't be taking care of, the nitty-gritties. He handles everything. And then Saranga takes care of race day and the little things that have to be done on that day. And I said, getting together like this is the only way that you can come to a race and race without an issue and not worry about, as I said earlier, step into the car, buckle up, helmet on, and you drive. With my profession, being a fashion designer, I think the only link it has to motor racing is that making my cars look good also. I create fashion with regards to the colors, the color schemes, the way I sing, and then all about looking good, where the cars look really good. I mean, tires are polished before an event, cars are painted, no damages, no body damages, nothing. Even the placing of stickers and sponsor stickers are well thought of and done in a way that everything looks really good, and that's the only link I think that I have between fashion and motor racing, because one is very passive and this is such an active and adrenaline flowing and something that from the age of 18 starting racing, and then seeing my dad race and cousins race and all that, how things have evolved from that point to 15 years ago when I started racing, and how things have changed over the 15 years is also amazing. At the time I came in 15 years ago, it was all a different sport. I mean, cars are not as high-tech as they are now. With each race, things become more high-tech and everybody's more into it. And I think the involvement of technology, I think, that has brought about all this, and now the youngsters that are all into racing now. Where people take it more as a sport and not as something like a personal thing that they take upon themselves, that this is all about me winning and a podium and I have to win this race at no cost, I need to win, sort of thing. It should be a sport, and there is a winner and a loser and all that, every dog has its day. So I think that's the only thing I'm I don't really agree with at the moment. But when I think of when I was 18, when I raced, things are completely different. It's a different caliber that race, it's a different types of racers and all that. So it's evolved a lot, and I think we are heading in a very different direction now. Yeah, the two guys who handle all the personal things with racing, apart from the tuning and all, I've actually wanted one of them to run, starting off the Nissan March event, but he has not yet got the courage to run. But they both run drags and have been fairly successful in doing so. And some people don't like to lend their race cars or have another driver drive it. But where I'm concerned, I think they make it all happen for me, and it's something that I'm obliged and like a duty that I should give them the same situation in their life where they can also love, learn and appreciate what motor racing is all about. So they've run about 2 drags each, and I hope one of them will take the plunge and get into competitive racing in the near future. To summarize, nothing is possible today. Everything is impossible actually without a proper sponsor, because it's such an expensive sport. And also sponsor, together with financial support, you need moral support. And I think I get it from the clique of people who are around me and who support me in this thing. And my thanks to them, especially Team Helibis, Murad Ismail, Nadira Jinasena who prepares my cars, Samira Saranga, Khalna Tissa, all who have been a great team and who have given me the support to walk forward and to strive and to even win races. Thank you very much.